So this is an interesting podcast episode. Most people think of podcasts as it's a radio show, although there's video now associated with it, and that's kind of cool. So I'm actually taking my mom through her physio exercises. So if you have the camera on, you'll see her doing some slider exercises. And if you've been keeping up with the coaching calls with Nick's mom, she had her knee surgery about 5 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever you want to call it. I think it's been about 5 weeks. It was June 3rd. Today is July 8th. And it's a Wednesday, so it should actually be five
5
weeks.
weeks.
She's been kicking butt and taking names, and within a couple days of the knee surgery, she wanted to at least do her upper body workout routine. And then now we've gotten to the point where we can do our upper and lower. And then she had an interesting question, and I was like, actually, A, be good to have a little check-in call, and B, a lot of people have this problem. So that's kind of the thought process. So the problem is that she has too many physio exercises to do and not enough time. And she was showing me some of the newer ones and then asking me. Funny enough, she's doing them while we're chit-chatting. This is exactly how I would be working with a client. They'd be doing their exercises, and then we chit-chat about the problem and any other problems that they have, and obviously correcting their exercise, like, hey, you need to focus on your balance more. I can see that. There you go. Or anything else we're talking about. So yeah, Mom, if you want to tell us the problem, although if you can't talk and focus on your balance at the same time, that is
Listen,
okay.
women do multiple things at the same time. So, yes, I can do that. um,
But do they do it well?
well, that's a good point. So, for me, I've been doing my physio. Now, this is, uh, when did I go to physio? The 22nd of June. So, is this week 3? And he gave me exercises to start, which were 3. And then he added 3 more. And now he's added another 3. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, except that I feel like I can't get them all done within a reasonable hour. I mean, some people are gym rats and they would go all the time, but for me, I can't. I just can't do that. So I was asking you if I should just do some of them, all half of them, half of the amount, and so that's where that came from.
So how often are you doing your physio
Well,
exercises?
when I first started, I was doing twice a day because it wasn't that many, and then even the last week I was doing almost twice a day. There was a couple of days that I didn't get 2 in. Uh, and Sunday I didn't do any. I was exhausted Sunday. Um, but today, yes, I've done them every day this week. But yesterday I didn't do all of the exercises. Like I did maybe 2/3 of them, and it took me 15 minutes to get through them all.
Yeah. So I'll caveat with I'm technically not a physio, although I've been taking my mom through her exercises. I can speculate and I can problem solve. So the easiest solution would be to do half of them Monday, half of them Tuesday, and then
So
you
when you
put
say
that on a
half,
cycle.
you mean pick 3 or like I don't know. I think I've got 9 or 10 exercises now. So pick 5.
Do pick 5 on Monday, pick 5 on Tuesday, the opposite 5 Wednesday, opposite 5 Thursday. I'm not 100% sure what your physio exercises are, and so the other way to block them is easy accessibility. So for example, if you're already on the ground doing clamshells, it's easy to also do your glute bridges at the same time, even though both would be glute exercises. And then the other option too is you still do 5 and 5, and then later in the day, it's what exercises can you do exercise snacks wise sprinkled in throughout the day. And so if you do your 5 on Monday, and then Monday afternoon rolls around and you're like, okay, I got 10 minutes, let me do a couple exercise snacks. What can those be that you do, even if you've already done them on Monday? Not a big deal. What do you have access to? What do you have the energy for? What do you have the equipment for there and ready? And then I would say the same thing on Tuesdays. You do the other 5, and then you pick other exercises. The thing about physio typically is doing it more frequently with less intensity is going to be superior. So the other option is you do like half in the morning and then you do the other half in the afternoon, but I know you don't always have the time or energy to finish up. And so I don't want you to think about it as all or nothing, but whatever you can do is going to be a net positive still. So those are a couple options. The other option is next time you go to physio, because again, I can't advocate for what exercises you shouldn't do, but you can ask, hey, which exercises can we take away? There's too many. I don't have enough time. And then here's the other question. Are there any that you're doing that you're like, this is way too easy?
And there are the ones that I started with, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the ones I started with are babies.
So again, I won't tell you to take them out yet, but when do you see
Friday.
physio next? Is it in a week?
Yeah.
This Friday. So I would just tell you then that today's Wednesday, so do what you can today. Do what you didn't do today on Thursday. And if you do some things every single day, great. Because he might be able to come up with a better idea of, hey, do these lunges every day, do the clamshells every other day, do the monster walks every other day, do this exercise every day. Is it that knee
This
or
is the bad knee? But I'm supposed to do both knees in both directions.
Okay. So that's an easy solution. The exercise snacks tend to be probably what's best for physio. Like I told you before, when I had my knee surgery, it was 4 to 5 times a day. I didn't have anything better to do, but the exercises took about 10 to 15 minutes. And they're at such low intensity. So the baby exercises could also get put into for the exercise snacks because they're so easy that you can use them as frequency builders. The more strenuous, harder ones, you might not necessarily be able to do all day, every day. Does that also make sense?
So,
okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you have him even give you a rough idea of a plan, then we can actually put it into a table, and then it's easier for you to track if it's in a table, right?
Yeah. So my question also would be like that they're giving frequencies of tens. Like what if I did 8? Yeah.
You mean 10 reps?
Yeah.
You mean 10 reps? I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry about if you can only do 8. Now, the real rep range should almost always be, when we're talking about building muscle or strength, 2 reps in the tank. However, there's still lots of value for 4 reps and 5 reps in the tank. Do you understand 2 reps in the tank?
Some of them, like this one, they've given me 5. Just do 5 reps, which is weird. With 5 seconds.
They probably know it's a little bit hard or strenuous, and then if you're holding it for 5 seconds, that's 25 seconds versus other exercises. Let's say it's 10 reps, but you hold it for 2 seconds.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then I showed you the one exercise where they put an ankle weight on my ankle and then had the roller under it, and I had to raise my my ankle up to straight, trying to build the inner muscle. And
That's a leg
yeah,
extension.
but just
Leg
building
extension.
the inner leg. And I was like, I tried to rig something up, but I was like, maybe there's a better way. It still works.
So I can tell you it's really hard to isolate that muscle. And you're not ever going to only isolate that muscle and not other parts of the quad. That part of the movement might feel it a little bit more in that area. But typically, it's going to come from single leg movements. You don't have a leg press. That would be a leg press move, actually. And we can't jerry rig a leg press. You do have a leg extension we can jerry rig, and that's kind of what he had you doing. And maybe next time I'm in, we can come up with a bit better of a leg extension. We can jerry rig a hamstring curl a lot easier because of the way the bands work. If you do that with a leg extension, the band just rolls up the leg. So if you find a way to attach the band to the ankle with that hook, that might be a better idea.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. And so with home gym physio stuff, you do have to be a little creative. I funny enough, actually, if you're interested, I think this is just off the cuff of my head. You know, I have two-week guest passes at Movati. If you and Norm wanted to go together for 2 weeks, cool. Or if you just wanted to go for 4 weeks, so you have access to some equipment, and I can take you into the machine area and be like, this is the leg press, this is the leg extension. This would be like, and that might be good for sometime come the fall when you're a bit more rehabbed, but you at least want to do some machine work. It's up to you, and I can show you at least a couple, and then you could have up to 4 weeks of free gym membership, and then that's a good way to bridge into curling, perhaps. So your call. Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about machines is that they do a really good job isolating certain areas, and you can play with angles and tracking weight and stuff like that. And obviously, I wouldn't say, hey, go get a Good Life membership. You probably don't need that. You have 80 to 90% of the equipment that you need in the home gym at no cost. And for you to pay $600-700 for a Good Life membership for a year seems a bit excessive, but for 4 weeks at Movati, I could easily do that, and it's free. So like I get that as part of my membership package. So anyway, I think that your best strategy is just doing as much as you can between now and Friday. Talk to the physio and say, hey, if I split this into day 1, day 2, or can we also trim some of the fat away? And the thing that gets trimmed away as fat, you can use as exercise snacks potentially. And it's very hard to overdo low intensity mobility correctional exercises. Those are things that you want that frequency, but you don't want to overdo very hard strenuous. And you ask the question about, well, what about 8 reps instead of 10? You're not going to get that much more benefit right now trying to get to 2 in the tank. But you can use 10 as, okay, if I get to 10 and it feels like I have way more than 2 in the tank, I probably need to make it harder. And then I wouldn't just stop at 8. The difference between 8 and 10 to save time is 10 seconds. So if it's a time thing that doesn't make logical sense, it's the rest between exercises that is probably the one that takes the most, and all of the sets. So from a benefit of 2 or 3 sets, 2 sets might get you 80% of the benefit, and 3 sets might get you 100%. It's not like each set builds 1/3. Set 1 might give you 50%, set 2 might give you another 30, set 3 might give you another 20. And so that's another option is for some of those to just do 2 sets. But I'll always make the argument that an extra set takes a minute. It's the setup for the exercise that takes time. So doing less exercises and more sets is sometimes more time efficient. But yeah, and I totally get it from a time standpoint. I would sell you on this idea too. You're basically retired. You're a busy retired person, but you're retired, And I know you were very busy with our grandfather, Papa. Obviously, we're on the podcast, so I can't just say Papa, but
Have you had him? Have
and
you had him on the
other
podcast yet?
hobbies and gardening, and
No.
you're active.
You know, you should, because he's
No, I
quite an
should. I
athlete,
probably
and
will in the next
he could
couple of
tell
weeks.
you a lot about him going to the Olympics, and the training back then was crazy. Him
Yeah,
coaching the basketball teams,
yeah.
and
I would just
like they almost
let him
went to the
talk.
Olympics for basketball too.
Yeah, yeah. I know, I know. I do have plans to get him on. He'll. I'll have to just bring my laptop and camera and everything, and then if he's in the mood, he'll do it. But he's
Yeah.
sometimes just
Depends
too
on what.
tired, right?
Oh, lost
Depends on the day.
my ear.
So
Depends
old
on
fart,
what.
90.
Because sometimes talk for me. Yeah.
Can I hear you? You probably disconnected, but I think we're done with the podcast anyway. Like I have all the information I need, and if you have any questions, you can ask now. But I think it's an interesting way to talk about what do you do if you have too many physio exercises. And yeah, you have to be your own advocate, but these are some of the questions I'd be asking and some of the problem solving I'd be doing. And I'm very careful not to say, oh yeah, you don't need that exercise anymore, because I'm not a physio. I would assume you probably don't need those baby exercises, but it's not the end of the world to ask. And it's Friday. So like the biggest thing is, oh, I don't know what to do this week. It's like, do it as much as you can, because again, you have extra time, and then whatever you get done, great. I think the biggest problem is a lot of people fall into all or nothing mindset or paralysis by analysis. They overthink and they can't act. So for you, I think it's most important you're doing something, and something will always be better than nothing. And a lot of people quit on their physio exercises. I still do a lot of my physio exercises for my knee and hip,
I think there's going to be some things, obviously, that I will keep
regularly, right? It's just
moving
we do what we gotta
forward.
do. So.
For me, it's a little frustrating because I want to move forward faster. But as the physio guy said, we want to heal and follow the healing with the exercises. Okay.
So I'll end you with this strategy. It's called slow, slow, fast, fast. It's an ancient Chinese strategy. If you were to think about it in boxing or in curling or in any strategic sport, slow, slow, fast, fast. You make it boring and slow, boring and deliberately slow, and then you go quick, quick. And well, what does that have to do with rehabbing the knee? It's not going to be linear. It is going to be slow. It is going to be slow. And then all of a sudden it's going to go fast and then fast. And sometimes you have to go slow to go fast. Right now it's FIFA World Cup, and two of the top scorers, I don't know if you're watching, I just have seen some highlights. Two of the top scorers of the game barely touch the ball because they're basically just walking, and then they're walking, and then they're lurking, and then they go quick, and it catches people off guard. That's a strategy, but that's a mindset you can use too. It's slow, slow, fast, fast. You're still probably in the second slow phase. It's a long rehab. You still got another, hopefully 30 some odd years of life.
Yeah.
So why rush the knee, right? If it takes you an extra month, who cares? So, okay.